Good morning. Welcome to Interpersonal Communication Project, Building Bridges Together. This is Bruce Callahan. Second slide is an overarching goal for my life is to keep growing spiritually. So that includes emotional sobriety, self-control, being an effective communicator, compassionate listener, be right-sized, humility. These attributes of identity exist only in relationship between other people. It doesn't happen unless I'm in relationship. My relationships are my conversations. Who I am, my identity is created conjointly in the living conversation between us. To grow spiritually, I need others to join in conversation to grow our connection and understanding and respect. I'm a brother and a nephew to these ladies. I'm also a dad, boyfriend, ex-husband, counselor, teacher, AA member, sponsor, a friend, a co-worker, an employee, and a child of God. Co-worker is what we're going to be talking about today. Next slide. My work conversations are the particular conversations that are targeted here. I work with adolescent boys. I think I'm in the right place. They certainly are teaching me, and hopefully I'm teaching them as well. My goal is to become an effective listener and an effective person. Burley Allen describes attributes of an effective listener: to keep an open mind, a curious mind, listen for new ideas everywhere, and make connections to what we already know. Listen from the heart to avoid being judgmental. Be introspective, learn from what is going on inside. Flexible, be willing to change their ideas, attitudes, and change the relationships themselves. Really be able to focus on the talker, what they're saying, but also what they're not saying. And listen with your own heart and your own gut. So, at work, it's a big system, and there's just me, but what we have going on here is a going nowhere cycle. The situation is we have boys who are coming in who are so oppositional that their communities are paying big money to have us take care of them in residential care. The thought process is that children will be compliant if they are properly motivated by the correct balance of negative and positive consequences. So the behavior, when we try and implement these consequences, is continued oppositional and escalating behavior by the boys, by a certain number of the boys. And these increase in severity of negative consequences from the staff, creating a degenerative cycle of relationship damage. And the relationships are internal as well. It hurts the kid's self-image and the staff's self-image, and it's just it's not good. The boys feel angry, betrayed, hopeless, less than, incompetent, and the staff feel the same thing. And then it spreads out like a degenerative cycle will, and those same feelings, the blame and scapegoating, and the problem spreads on out to the kids' families and the home communities that brought them to us. Going back to the beginning, my behavioral blend from Carbonell indicates that I can be demanding and aggressive, explosive. So in other words, I can be a lot like these kids. I have one of them inside me. He can be a rock in my shoe if I don't honor and take care of him. Or he can make it possible for me to connect with these guys and at a deep level. We frequently together will suffer flat brains. Another part of my behavioral blend keeps me from being fierce in my communication with supervisors and authority figures, folks who have power over me. So as I withdraw, the relationship deteriorates. I think rather than push my luck or not trust in that kind of that build up stuff inside, I'll rather than engage, I'll just sit back and hope that things will get better on their own or the problem will go away, and they don't. So into action. Things I've already started using from the course are I hear you and I have a different perspective. I've used that in emails, and it's really working. It helps me, it helps them. It stops the tango before it can really get going. In addition, I've been intentional about using Peterson's listening techniques to avoid getting drawn into flat brain tango without, these guys fight for fun, and it's easy to get sucked into that. When I listen and help an angry kid decompress, then both of our lives are much improved. I believe I've only scratched the surface on how I can use the practice and discipline from listen. I look forward to doing more. If behavior strategies that we're using with oppositional kids are not working, what should we try? Little research went to some of the inclusion stuff from schools, and the basis for accommodation is compassion, but compassion does not come easy for a child who defies rules, destroys property, and disrupts the classroom. They don't make it easy. They don't make it easy. The philosophy of collaborative problem solving suggests that learning how to participate in conversation is more effective than consequences, because oppositional kids will continue to problem solve the way they know how until they learn the skills required. If staff are not using those skills, if we're not modeling those skills, but instead using power, then opposition is inevitable. The collaborative problem-solving approach, lagging cognitive skills that interfere with a child's ability to comply with adult expectations. That's what we're going after. So Plan A is for those situations where you have to put your foot down and it's a safety issue. Plan A, you're going to follow directions because you got to. Plan C happens a lot. I'm going to let it go right now, but believe me, we're going to talk about it soon. Stop feeding into the oppositional momentum. Sometimes you can't deal with every behavior right away, but you need to deal with every behavior eventually. Plan B is the point. We will solve it together. 1, tell me what's going on with you, and I will listen. 2, hear my concerns, how I see it. 3, brainstorm together lots of solutions that work for both of us. Repeat as needed, step 2 and 3. And when other things come up, it really is very similar to the TLC card. Next slide. Relationships heal when we listen and respond with love. Relationships are our conversations. If we listen first and listen with compassion, then God will build miracles all around us. Next slide. And that's it. I've truly enjoyed this course and wish you the best of luck. Thank you.